Today, I went to a trading event hosted by Charles Schwab and wanted to see what professional traders actually talk about when they're all in the same room. Spoiler alert, it's not what most people think. Plus, I even grabbed a free trading book and some sunglasses while I was there. I'll show you that later. These events bring together traders, strategists, and people from the brokerage side.
If $200 is too much risk for you to manage in that trade, and you don't want to take that $200 risk, adjust the spread or find a different instrument. Because putting a stop loss on a spread trade is likely to put you as a trader in a position that you're going to get stopped out of the trade before it does what you want it to do, simply because of intraday volatility. Okay? That's the challenge or risk of putting a stop on. Now, there is one way that you could do it. You could put a conditional order that takes the spread trade off based on the price of the stock moving, and then you're basing it on something else. We've got a whole series of webcasts that talk about placing conditional orders.
It's interesting seeing what topics dominate the conversation, and the vibe is completely different from what you see on YouTube. The room was full of people who actually trade professionally, and you could feel the focus on risk, strategy, and real-time market analysis. The presentation itself was mostly focused on market trends and risk management. A few things stood out to me. That one, traders are obsessed with probabilities, not predictions. Number two, position sizing and risk control are emphasized over trying to guess market direction. And that's in 9 out of 10 cases.
But maybe we buy a 43 put, and so we can stick it to someone else at 43. And now we've limited.
Also, psychology matters as much as the charts themselves. Managing your emotions and sticking to a process is key. Honestly, it was a reminder that being a professional trader is mostly about discipline and process, not fancy strategies or indicators all over your chart. They were also giving away some swag at the event. I picked up this trading book. It is The Perfect Speculator by Brad Koteshwar. If you're a person that judges conferences by the free stuff and swag, this one definitely delivered. The one thing I noticed is how different professional traders' mindset is from beginners, because most beginners focus on finding the perfect trade or chasing outcomes or guessing market direction, whereas professional traders are literally thinking, where is my risk? What is my risk? How does this fit my process? And can I survive and stay in the game long term? And being around traders in environments like this really drives home that consistent profits only come from discipline, not luck or predictions. Another interesting thing, a lot of the discussion was centered on options flow and volatility, and that's exactly what professionals are watching in real time. Even if you don't trade options, the mindset translates to every market. If you focus on what you can control, track your key levels, and never over leverage. And it reminded me a lot of what the perfect speculator emphasizes: process over outcome and probability over predictions. Overall, being at this event was a solid reminder that trading is not about the perfect tips or the secret strategy, because there is not one. It's all about discipline and risk management and mindset. And honestly, seeing it in person makes you appreciate how much psychology drives results, but it also made me realize that beginner psychology is different from post-skill psychology. And if you want more insights from real traders and the psychology of consistent trading, subscribe and hit that bell notification. One thing that actually surprised me about being here is how simple a lot of the conversations were. Most of these traders have been trading longer than I've been alive. So when I stepped into the room and they're not talking about crazy strategies, they're talking about nothing having to do with predicting the market perfectly. It just reinforced that it really is mostly about risk, is staying consistent over time, not ever trying to find that golden strategy, because you're not going to find it. And I think that's something a lot of traders overlook in the beginning. At the end of the day, we're all retail traders because we don't trade with institutions. We don't trade hundreds of us at a time under one corporation. So the biggest difference between a beginner trader and the people here is not being retail or not. It is that beginners are focused on finding a perfect trade, but the traders here are focused on protecting their capital and simply staying in the game, understanding that emotions are real and understanding you cannot predict anything in the market. And Charles Schwab really focuses on technical analysis. What is the market doing? Not what can it do, not what should it do, but what is it doing right now in order to stay in the game. And that is a completely different mindset. So honestly, why I like going to events like this is not just for the information, but it's to be around people that take trading seriously. I met new friends who take this just as seriously as I do, and it kind of resets your perspective on what actually matters long term. So I'm definitely going to go through the book that I picked up and see all of the solid concepts that are in there. And of course, when I do, I will probably break it down in another video. Make sure to comment the word perfect speculator if you want me to make a second video and what you really want me to show you from the book.